Now talking puck on Rockin' Madrid with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910 and the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, y'all know by now, on Friday, the Coyote players were informed that the team is relocating to Utah. Joining us now to talk about it, as you just heard, Coach Pete. Coach, I don't even know where to start. When I saw you in the morning the other day, and for those who don't know, Steve and I live next to each other. We're neighbors. And he mentioned to me that he had talked to some of the players and didn't want to go on record yet because, he wanted to come out of the right source. He told me that this was going down. And it didn't really sink in, Steve, until like a few hours later when all the reports came in. When did it truly sink in with you that it is all over with the Coyotes?
It's interesting because we talk about this a lot on our show, and it ebbs and flows. It's like Leah likened it to a relationship breakup or a death in the family. It's really hard, and there are days I'm fine, and there are days I'm not, because hockey has been such an integral part of my life.
Sure.
I've been around this franchise for literally since its inception. It's really hard. And you try to find ways to supplant it, going, oh, there's going to be ASU hockey. The Roadrunners are staying in Arizona. But this hits hard. This hits hard. And sports is just different. And the loss of a team, there hasn't been one in the NHL since Atlanta moved to Winnipeg. And that's been a very long time now. So this is only the second time since 2000 that this has happened. It's hard. And I don't honestly know if it has sunk in yet.
Steve, you're not that far removed from being on the staff for the Coyotes. You know a lot of the front office folks on and off the ice. What kind of conversations have you had where this is directly impacting the folks that work for the organization?
Yeah, it's funny. When you're a sports fan, you think the team moves. It's a team moves. It's a couple of jerseys and name changes on the logos, but it's so much deeper than that. The players are affected greatly here, and there are some players that are really unhappy. And the players love the Valley. They love the weather here. They love the golf. They think that the future was bright here. There's some players that are very frustrated and felt blindsided by this. But the staff, this is devastating. And we know the financial setup for the staff is much different than the players. Players will be fine. They'll buy a great new house and everything will be fine. This is different. This is different. The guys that have wives that work and kids that are in school. There are people that don't know if they're going to have a job next week because they haven't really been notified what's going to happen over the next few days. A few have, and few I've talked to are planning on making the move to Salt Lake, and they did it through tears. And these are grown men. These are tough decisions. Selling houses, getting kids out of school. This is very, very hard. And I want to make sure people understand that is part of this process of moving a franchise, that there are a lot of people affected outside just the players and the fan base.
Steve, I'll back up just a little bit. Coach T had talked about his interview that they're made aware that this could happen way back in January 24th. So if you look at all the timelines, Channel 12's been real good about breaking the timelines down, what have you. At what point do you feel that the straw broke the camel's back, so to speak?
I think it was over waiting for this auction to get posted. I think that was finally it, because you saw the auction. We've all been waiting for the auction to get posted in June. I think that needed to get posted. The anticipation is that auction was going to get posted earlier in the year, and the auction would take place sometime in the first quarter of 2024. When that didn't happen, and that date of in March started to pass, you go January, February, March, you go, we're into June. If anything goes wrong with this project, if it goes right, it's 3 more years at Mullet. If anything goes wrong, whether that's politics or land problems, construction problems, building problems, whatever that may be, you're talking 4, maybe 5 more years at Mullet. And the league just said, no, we're not going to put the NHL in the Mullet Arena for the next 5 seasons. So I think when Alex Morella couldn't say, hey, we're definitely going to be up and running in 3 years, and he can't make that promise because he doesn't know. I think that was the beginning of the end. And I do think that they tried to save a brave face with their fan base just to keep them interested till game 82. But I think the fate on this has been sealed for some time, for much over a month.
I'm with you on that. All right, take me then to the owner. He gets $1 billion for the franchise. My question to you is, in your heart, even if they were to secure the land deal, do you believe that they will try to bring hockey back to the desert? He's a businessman. He knows how to make big money, and he has made big money, Steve. Do you really believe that it would be him who will, again, have the opportunity to get an expansion team?
I don't want to take too long here, Jimmy B, but here's what I think. I think the ownership group is where the responsibility of this franchise leaving lies 100% on Alex Morello Sr. and the ownership group. This could have been done many different ways, and there are many missteps over the last year. What surprises me out of this, and we talked about the heartbreak of some of the staff members and players and fan bases, the one that comes out of this with over projected $500 million to $700 million profit is Alex Morello Sr. And I struggle with that part of it. I also struggle with the National Hockey League trying to get out of this franchise commitment with Alex Morello Sr. I do struggle to think that he will be again to an NHL franchise in 5 to 7 years. I really have a difficult time believing that. At this point, we're hearing from Alex Morello that he still intends to win that auction on the 27th. He intends to start building in the first quarter of 2025. He intends to have a building and the Coyotes back somewhere between 4 and 7 seasons from now. But that is a long time from now, and a lot of things can happen. I have a hard time believing it.
Steve Peters with us, Fox Sports 910. You think the NHL wanted him out? I mean, think about it. He couldn't get the Tempe deal done. That was a layup. It should have been a layup. Yep. You hear about how the staff, you and I have talked about it, how some of the staff was treated. He couldn't pay his bills in Glendale. It could just been something behind the scenes that they really didn't want him.
I think there's a huge frustration with this ownership group, and I think he's had very successful businesses in his portfolio. The one difference with a sports team is public perception matters, and what your fan base thinks of you matters. So the truth is, on the bill paying, Alex Morello's got money. He makes a lot of money at his casinos in Vegas, in Nevada, and Reno. He's got a lot of money, but some of his modus operandi has been delaying bill payment, and it started things in a bad direction for him. Yeah, there are huge problems here. I think the league was frustrated. The Athletic wrote a hit piece on the toxic culture inside that staff years ago, and that's while I was still there. And I'll be honest, I'm talking to the people I've talked to over the last week, hasn't changed much. There are people that are very angry with what's going on there, and they're ready to tell their stories. So I just have to say that stay tuned. I have a hard time believing he's getting a team back unless he really changes the way he does business in this city.
All right, let me follow up then with that. Ryan Smith is the owner of the Utah Jazz in Salt Lake City, a self-made billionaire.
3.
So Matt Ishbia is a billionaire. He now owns the Phoenix Suns. Do you believe that Ishbia had anything to do with this and Ryan Smith diving into this just because, as what you stated, National Hockey League found some unsavory things about Morello, and they would like to have an owner like Ryan Smith?
You know, I don't know the relationship between Ryan Smith and Matt Ishbia. I know Matt Ishbia, his name has come up a lot over the last 6 months to a year about him and his interest in buying a hockey team. And I think he's said he's interested on the periphery. I don't think it ever got serious. And from what I'm understanding, the talks with the NHL never became serious with Matt Ishbia. Ryan Smith is interesting, though, when you talk about bringing the NBA to Utah, and now the hockey team. Utah is a quarter of the size of the Phoenix metro area. The building is now, and this one is surprising to me, the building the Jazz play in will automatically become the third oldest NHL building when this team moves in. Only Madison Square Garden and the Saddle Dome in Calgary are older. So this building is old. And similar to Miracle West Arena, they're they seat 11,000 unobstructed view seats. 11,000 unobstructed, not made for hockey. They have to push in all of the boards behind the visiting goaltender. This is not ideal. And it really shows you how the commitment to the league to get this team out of Alex Morello's hands really is there. Because if you're going to go to a non-ideal situation, it had to be bad here.
Steve, we'll get you out on this one. I'm going to take my media hat off, and I'm going to put my fan hat on. I have 4 jerseys, sweaters, whatever you want to call them. I feel absolutely screwed. I spent all this money. I support the team. I basically buy into this BS about this process and going through a rebuild every year. What's going to suck here is we're never going to see the process come to fruition. We're never going to see how talented this team that you've been preaching about, how good this team is going to be. And what if they go into Utah next year and they make the playoffs and they go deep into the playoffs? You know, I don't know. I mean, I need somebody to get me that jump off the,
That's about the ledge,
off
right?
the ledge, because I'm getting more from, oh, this sucks, I'm upset, to now I'm pissed off. Just pissed off.
Get ready, Rock. They've won 4 of their last 6, and you know who's pulling them through it? Josh Doan, rookie. Matthias Michelli, Dylan Gunther, Logan Cooley. They are carrying the mail for this team. Dylan Gunther's on pace. If he would have played the whole season, he has a 31 goal pace right now. Those young kids are carrying this team. And every night we look at this franchise and go, seriously, like now this is going to happen. Yeah, they're going to be good. They're going to be good in Salt Lake. And the one thing that we've been grateful for, they've been winning late here, so it's taking them out of the best odds for the lottery. Because if this team wins the lottery, and the Salt Lake City, whatever they become, gets the first pick overall.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy. Yeah, this is going to be this is a hard pill to swallow. And here's the other thing: when you say that, Alex Morello is his thoughts are, well, I'm saving Arizona hockey. It's going to be the Coyotes again. I've got the franchise name and the jersey, but it's not. It's not the team that we've all grown to love and follow. It's not the players. Like I don't think there's a real disconnect between him and the fan base. A real disconnect, and I don't think he understands that he's losing all of those names and players. We don't follow the jersey. We follow the guys in them.
Yeah. And by the way, you gave me that little tip that I put on DraftKings and lost my ass. Just so you know. So that means at least 3 weeks of you taking in both my cans, my recycling can and my regular trash can. Okay.
I was also going to ask you if it was Rock Minuch and Jimmy B with Petey. I'm just checking.
Hey,
got a little ring to it.
We'll always have a home for you, Coach.
Absolutely.
We'll always have a home for you, buddy. Hey, thanks for the time,
we'll
man.
see what happens with hockey.
We always appreciate it.
Thanks.
SD Peters joining us, part of PHX, does a tremendous job. Him and Craig Morgan, they've been all over it. And again, just it's just going to be a tough time when this thing comes out. When we have some time over the next few days, we'll really break down this statement, which is an absolute joke, that he put out in all caps. In all caps. Who does that? Who sends out a statement in all caps?
I'm like, tell us something we don't know.
Oh, well, he didn't want to tell us anything.
Well, we're so tired of the BS. We know it's BS when he comes out with it. It's like, okay, Murillo, it's total BS. We don't even. I read halfway through. I went, forget it.
Yeah, it was only 2 paragraphs.
2 paragraphs.
Yeah,
Like, okay,
it said nothing.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll continue on.
Nothing.
We'll continue on. It's Rock and Manu, Fox Sports 910.
This is